Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Is This Real? As always, I'm your host, Joe Cayola III.
And I'm the second, Junior.
And I'm with my dad, Junior, today again. This week's special podcast, Dad.
Yeah, it's a little bit of going in the right direction, I think.
Yep. We're going to officially have our podcasting YouTube up with our podcast videos. So you'll see us live. You'll see what we look like. You'll see what our beautiful booth is.
That'll be the end of our careers.
Yeah, the end of you, because you have a face for radio.
Yeah, okay. Remember where you got yours from, buddy?
My mother.
That, folks, is a prick.
But this week's episode. Excuse me as I drink some water because it's fairly hot in here.
Yeah, fairly. This is Niagara Falls, folks. It's me sweating.
So this week's episode is a little bit of a special one. I know last week we said we were going to talk about
Sandy Hook and what went on there.
But as we were doing our research over the week, we have found there's so much more that we need to actually research more about.
Yeah, there's a lot of propaganda out there on both sides. I look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you anything about it. I don't know. All I can tell you is there's certain questions that need to be answered at some point, and they're not being answered.
Yeah, and that's why we're taking an extra maybe week or two to figure it out.
And the demonization of the people that are involved is pathetic. But anyway.
Yeah. So this week we're going to do a whole switcheroony, and we're going to talk about something you talked about. I believe it was 2 episodes ago, when you talked about the haunting of the Jersey Shore.
Right.
Now the Jersey Shore, are we going to do from like Sandy Hook down to Cape May?
Okay. The Jersey Shore it really takes in a lot of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's going to take in basically from northern New Jersey. You could go as far up as Keensburg, right down to Cape May. Okay, when we say Jersey Shore, we're going to even bring in some other towns as far as that are in Ocean County, that are that have stories to tell, and I want to make sure that we get them included. This is going to be a one episode, I would imagine, right? We're not going to do 2 episodes on this.
I mean, I have a couple stories.
We can go a little longer on this one because of the video medium, I would imagine. An hour and 15 minutes, maybe.
No.
Is that a yes or a squeak? What is that?
Stick with an hour.
Okay, all right.
Because I don't want to lose people.
All right.
And we lose people.
You want to go to video?
Fuck you. Okay. So I have a couple stories. We'll talk in depth about these stories because these are places we know. The one I want to start with is the one that I didn't know about, and I don't think you know, as we talked about last 2 episodes ago. It's called the Parkway Phantom of Exit 82. Now, Dad, please inform our audience where Exit 82 is.
Oh, I can tell you that in my sleep. Exit 82. You have 82 and you have 82B, I believe it is. One takes you into Lakehurst on Route 37. It turns into Route 70. And then you have the aforementioned Route 37. The other part of 82 will take you into Toms River, and then eventually it'll take you into my future hometown of Seaside Park, New Jersey.
Your future hometown.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Wait to see the studio I built down there. Oh my God, man.
Okay, calm down. All right. So the Parkway Phantom of Exit 82. I read the first couple. Because again, this is from WeirdNewJersey.com, as we usually get our sources.
Mm-hmm.
We're
an unpaid arm of New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, we're not, we're not at all related to Weird New Jersey at all.
Affiliated, he's trying to say.
Affiliated. Whatever the fuck the word is. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get a lot of the stuff because, that's where you go for New Jersey shit. You want weird shit from New Jersey, you go to weirdnewjersey.com.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
I mean, how many years did you have all their books?
Oh, I used to wait, when I was working up in Riverdale, I would wait there and literally have the guy hold me a copy. As soon as it came out, he knew to hold me a copy.
Exactly.
No, I love the book. I love that somebody pays that much attention to New Jersey. He's a Mark Moran, and I can't remember the Mark something or other.
Mark Scruman.
Right.
Scruman?
Whatever.
Schumann.
These guys pay attention to New Jersey, and they literally, I'm not ashamed to say there's weird stuff going on in our state because
there's weird stuff everywhere.
Right. I mean, this state is filled with weird shit. And it's nice that somebody's documenting and putting it up on the thing. But we're going to focus more on the, like you say, Ocean County, Atlantic County, Monmouth County.
Yeah. So the three I have the Parkway
County, not to leave them
the
out.
Parkway Phantom of Exit 82, which is a story I don't think neither of us have heard.
Never heard it before.
Exactly. So, and then I have this one. It's which you told me you heard before. It's the Ghost of the Essex and Sussex Hotel in Spring Lake.
Oh yeah.
That one will probably be our last one because apparently there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
But then we also have this one, the Spy House, which is in Sandy Hook Bay in Port Monmouth.
Right.
Again, something I've never heard.
Wow, that's an interesting story, the Spy House, and we'll get into it. So as soon as you start bringing them up, let's go.
Yeah, so we'll do the Parkway Phantom at Exit 82. So I'll just read this little excerpt here. We all worked as paramedics in Ocean County, and we see a lot of fatal accidents. About 5 years ago, on a rainy night along the spot of the GSP, where it is also US 9, there was a guy whose car broke down on the curve. He pulled off to the side and began to walk along the shoulder when a driver hit him, throwing him into the into the woods and killing him. That's why you don't get off out of your car on the parkway.
That's very true.
I don't understand how many times I have to tell people that. All these stories begin with some stupid asshole doing something stupid.
Probably about the same amount of times you got to tell them that Lee Harvey Oswald had nothing to do with Kennedy. Another story.
Another story.
Another episode.
Another episode, please.
All right, sorry.
All right, so when the paramedics got there, they knew someone had been hit. Duh. But due to the darkness and rain, they could not find him. They finally did and tried to revive him, but it was too late. Several weeks later, the same medic crew was coming back from Kimball Medical Center in Lakewood, heading towards Toms River, when they saw someone on the side of the road waving them down. By the time they were able to pull over and back up to the spot, the man was gone, but they noticed it was the same spot where the man was hit only weeks before.
Right.
They just blew it off until another crew reported a similar event in the same area. To date, about three teams have seen this. But apparently it goes beyond that, because apparently there's another story from 1959 or 1960. But this one doesn't have a date, trying to get saved in Toms River.
Okay.
So the Parkway Phantom way back when. Here's a little news coverage from 1959 to 1960 of a ghost hunt on the Garden State Parkway near Toms River. Rumor had it was a naked female ghost was seen floating over the parkway. Who could resist that? Quite a crowd showed up along with the police. No ghost or even a naked woman was seen, but one enterprising youth thought it would be a good idea to put on a sheet and scare the cops. It wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, never scared of cops. Never fool the cops either, folks. When you're out there, never do that. Kind of dumb, but whatever.
So I do have just one comment. It's by a girl named Brooke Callahan, and she looks kind of cute. But she goes, my mom saw the phantom male spirit near exit 82 about 20 years ago. She had described this man as wearing clothing similar to that of a Confederate soldier, similar to what others have described. With a gun slinged around his shoulder, she did not see him waving to cars, rather he was just walking. She did a double take as she passed him, realizing how odd the circumstances were, and he was gone.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Harsh to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
So now we've gone from one extreme to completely another.
Yes.
And they want us to believe this?
Now, this comment was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2019. She's talking about 20 plus years ago. Let's say, okay, so it was the 1990s.
And these are the only, how many reports you got in this? 2, 3?
Just these 3 stories.
Okay. All right, listen. I've been traveling the Parkway the better part of my whole life. Like I said, I'm 6 years old. Okay.
You're going to be 60 in October.
You are.
You're old. It's all right.
We can edit that part out. Anyway.
No, there's no editing with we.
I have traveled.
Remember, you're just a talent.
Are you going to let me talk? You're just going to talk.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. I have traveled the Parkway better part of a long time. I'm not going to say how many years, but I've used
better part of 50.
Exit 82 many, many times, both in the day, middle of the night, during the rainstorm, during the snowstorm, and I have yet to see a ghost. I've yet to see anybody standing on the side of the road. I have yet to see a naked woman because I would have stopped. Okay. These are things that I've never seen. So if we have 3 accounts, and they're 3 different accounts now, it's not like, well, I saw them at 8 o'clock, and then somebody says, well, I saw them at 8:15. They're not even backing each other up. Again, a story without proof is just a story.
Well, yeah, we have one with the picture of what this Exit 82 is. This looks like a picture from the 1990s.
Okay.
And then you have the story from 1959 to 1960 about the naked girl floating over Exit 82. And then you have her talking about her mom.
What about her mom?
Like I said, her mom saw the Confederate soldier.
Oh.
So it's not a guy who got hit by a car.
So now it's not a girl that's naked.
It's not a girl who's naked.
It's a Confederate soldier.
It's a Confederate soldier.
And then it's about another, what was the other one? They were trying to fool a cop or something?
No. Okay. So the 1959-1960 story is about the rumor was it was a naked female ghost was floating over the Parkway at Exit 82.
Okay, I get it.
And then you have the guy who got hit by the car, which there is no time frame, like there's no date.
Okay, so we're really all over the place on this one.
Yes,
okay.
And then you have this girl who is saying they saw a ghost by Exit 82, but it wasn't, or her mother saw a ghost by Exit 82, and it wasn't a guy waving cars down, or it was a guy in a Confederate soldier garb.
Okay. Well, maybe did this happen maybe around Halloween? Maybe.
Again, she just said 20 plus years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, that would put us at 2000.
Well, her comment was a year ago, so
we're at 1999. We're looking at. Okay. All right.
In the 90s.
Do you know the Family Feud? Remember that when they give the wrong answer?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Well, guess what?
Audio.
I'm sorry. I had to do that. Okay. Let's move on to the next one, Joe, because I'm gonna say it, folks. I'm gonna say it. That's a bullshit.
Bullshit writing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the spy house.
The old spy house.
All right,
Beach at Sandy Hook.
Yes. So it's located in the Sandy Hook Bay in Port Monmouth section of Middletown.
Right.
Now, Dad, like with Exit 82, tell us where Middletown is.
Right, Middletown is actually somewhere in the northern part of the state. It's really not in the middle of the state, but it actually borders from the Parkway. It actually goes east until it gets to, I guess, to Sandy Hook Bay. So that's basically along Route 36 or Route 35, if you like. And it dumps actually into the ocean and then into Sandy Hook, the state park. And the park is actually, it's home to Fort Hancock, which in itself is a creepy place, but the spy house is located right in that general vicinity. And I guess you have a history of the spy house too?
I'm looking up right now. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard many stories about this and many sightings about this one area. And to be honest with you, the whole area with all the homes that are down there that are right along the bay, I'm talking in Sandy Hook now, right by Fort Monmouth. You have older buildings in there. You have the lighthouse in there.
Okay, so the original house was built in 1663 by a guy named Thomas Whitlock.
Okay.
So you're talking about an almost 400-year-old house.
All right.
He came to North America in 1641. First living in Brooklyn. Started as a 1.5 story, 1-room cabin, and Whitlock lived there with his family. They turned it into a 2-story building by the second owner, which was Thomas Seabrook. Which I'm guessing. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, okay. For most of its history, the farm on Sandy Hook Bay was home to generations of 2 prominent Port Monmouth families, the Seabrooks and the Wilsons. Ship owners and captains, a Revolutionary War militia officer, local business owners and investors, clergymen. These were all part of those families.
Right.
So you have a bunch of people who live there. Like a bunch of prominent people in that area at the time.
Now, has anybody seen these spirits?
Well, that's why we're reading them. So I got one story here. It says the Spy House Ghost Boy. So this guy goes, one morning my friend Dave's parents went to visit the old Spy House Museum in Port Monmouth. It is a museum, and you can go visit it. They were there at the appointed opening time, but the curator wasn't there. After about half an hour of waiting, they said the hell with it and left. As they were getting back into their car, my friend's father looked up and pointed out a kid about 10 or 12 years old looking at them from the upstairs window. His dad said that the kid had one of those puffy shirts that they used to wear in the old days.
Okay.
As they watched, she slowly backed away from the window. Just then, the curator drove up and apologized for being late. They told her that they had seen a young boy in the upstairs window. She said no one is supposed to be up there. She opened the house up, and together they searched the place but found no one.
See, that's creepy. Now, that's something that, you're dealing with something that's so old. You know what? This kid probably lived in that house. When he passed away, he's going to stay in familiar surroundings. Maybe he passed away with a relative, closely with another relative. Who knows? But I do believe something like that is very, very possible. And the sightings is what confirms it. These are things that, now there's going to be more, I would imagine more people have seen this kid.
Fuck. Damn it. No, damn it. I'm looking up this one thing that's... Oh, okay. I can't even get into it.
Yeah, we're having problems with the internet today, folks. It's really slowed down here.
Okay. Nope. Sorry. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I haven't seen any at least stories right now of the ghost boy.
No pictures, no nothing.
No nothing. They do show a picture of the window itself, and it's definitely a creepy old ass window.
Right. Well, the house is creepy.
Yeah, the house is very creepy.
If you look at that picture of the spy house, and you look at the picture of the old decrepit house up on, like we were talking about last week, or 2 weeks ago, the the hell's the name of it? Clinton Road, look exactly alike. They look exactly alike.
Oh yeah. I noticed what you're talking about.
So I also see there was a curse on the house too. Okay, I'll read this.
Yeah, read that story for me.
Okay, it's one thing to have a ghost lurking around the house, but what do you do when a living person is casting curses? That's exactly what Yawar Charlie, director of estates of the Aaron Kierman Group in Los Angeles, was forced to figure out. And I don't know, what that means. And it's the kind of article just drops off right there.
Wow.
So that's pretty weird. So if they're gonna if people are gonna cast spells on homes, and they're gonna bring in presence like spiritual presences, yeah, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get it all the time. And the fact that it's so old, and again, I want more proof. I want to see
with
more
as
proof.
many people that live there apparently, and like when you have a Revolutionary War militia officer and local business owners and investors and, for Christ's sakes, fucking clergymen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of emotion and a lot of spirit. Like, what I mean spirit, religious spirit.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you.
And that right there, those are collections of... Wow, I can't...
It's hot in here. We're having trouble. We really are. It's very, very warm in here today. So it's kind of like it's affecting the equipment. It's affecting everything. So we're going to try to struggle through this, but we'll see what happens.
I'm trying to put my words together.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, it's one of those fucked up houses.
Right.
Like, you have people that... Like, another story I have right here is... the ghosts keep rocking at the spy house. On the way back from a very fun day at the water park in Keensburg, my dad decided to show my sister and myself the spy house. When we got there, we looked into the windows. It was extremely dark inside, and everything was locked. When we made it to the left side of the house, my dad noticed something moving inside the house. I just shrugged it off as nothing. But then when I was looking in the same upstairs window, I noticed that the rocking chair moved. I was scanning all windows to see if I could see anything else unusual, and I clearly saw a man sitting in a rocking chair reading. Excuse me. It couldn't have been a ranger because he was wearing old clothes and was sitting in the dark, reading, in a locked-up house. We snapped a picture and ran, and we pulled away. A ranger pulled up and unlocked the doors. So we assumed it must have been a ghost.
Right.
Wow. They do have a video.
Oh, hard to play here.
I know. Shut up. I'm gonna see if they have like... Oh, they have a video of... Okay, never mind. It's not a video of the thing itself.
There's also a sighting of a woman in white.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history. We also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
But they're all dressed in old-fashioned clothing.
Well, yeah, if they're gonna appear, that's what they're gonna appear in, I would imagine. I mean, why would they come dressed in something modern? It doesn't make sense. I don't know how ghosts operate. I don't pretend to know that I know, but I do know that one thing: they like to be around familiar things, because that's when they pass away, they want to be around where they grew up, or where they lived, or where their family lived, or whatever. I hear a lot of times ghosts, when they pass away, hang around by their bodies in the cemetery. And who knows? I mean, we've been to many cemeteries, and really didn't pick up much, a little shaking of a camera one time, but that was about it. Nothing more than that. So I don't know. I got a little story here. The first of the ghosts of the young woman in white, commonly associated with a tragic death. This woman's story is unknown. Historians say that she was the widow of a soldier allowed to stay in the home with her newborn infant after the Revolutionary War. It is said that she travels down from the attic, moving through the room, tidying up the place. She is commonly seen by guests from the outside, looking into the windows, watching her move from room to room before vanishing. That could be a residual haunting. She's not sure that she's in another realm. She's not dead. She's doing what she did every day, and she does it every day at the same time. It's like energy repeating itself over and over again.
Well, she cleans. We need her here.
Right. So, I mean, stuff like that I do believe in. I do believe that could be possible, and that's kind of creepy too. You see stuff like that. It's gonna make you think, like, what the hell's going on here? You know.
But as far as I don't know. To be that, there's no proof of anything. Nobody. I don't even think anybody has ever done an investigation.
You know what we're going to do for the rest of the show?
What?
Let's not ask for proof. Let's just try to bring the stories out and let the people decide for themselves if they believe it or they don't. But again, I'm going to go back to saying this, without any proof, without any video, without any, you have some ghost huntings where you have full-bodied apparitions, and then that's therefore you can look at it and go, okay, I've got that. There it is. But then you also have stories. And like I said, story without proof is just a story. So let's just do that. I mean, we're going to try to, debunk these things without actually going into them. It's hard to do that. We're not there. We didn't see it. We're not, maybe we could take a trip down here and make that a segment of one other upcoming show. But, these are, it's up to you guys to believe. Do you believe there was a lady in white? Do you believe in hauntings that can happen over and over and over again?
Well, to the people who, just like we've said in our past episodes, if you've seen this, contact us. Tell us.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from you.
I'll listen to your story.
Right.
If you want to call in, tell us about your story. Fucking do it.
Yeah, you go back to the spy house. You got the other captain, captain-related ghost in the house is said to be that of a pirate, Henry Morgan. Wow. This privateer traveled to the world in search of treasure, new land, and other grand adventures. It was rumored near the end of his career, Henry visited the home and temporarily stored some of his treasure in the basement. While many say the ghost is that of Henry, a few skeptics say that it was his first mate, Roger. That's odd, having a skeptic say it's not the ghost of this guy, but it's the ghost of somebody else. It's a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Roger attacked the captain by sword, but failed. Henry, in return, out of Roger's head, cut off Roger's head, and threw the body in a well,
English,
which has been covered up.
Yeah,
well. After the incident, Henry moved his treasure to another location, much of which was found in Panama in 2012.
Panama?
Yeah, so he...
that's a fucking far away.
Yeah, that's pretty much... But, so he took his treasure to Panama, but he's hanging around at the spy house. Again, do you believe it? Don't you believe it? Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but...
No, not that. The ghost is stupid then. My ass would be hanging in Panama.
Okay, that's where you want to go. I've never been to Panama.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What's next?
The Essex and Sussex house.
Ooh, love that place.
Have you stayed there?
I've never stayed there. Well, when I became aware of the Essex, back about 7-8 years ago, your mother and I were driving home from Seaside, and we wanted to just take a ride. We like to explore, my wife and I. And what we do is we go to different places, different towns. And we wound up going through a place called Spring Lake.
There you go.
Now, Spring Lake is an iconic, beautiful town in Monmouth County, just above Seagirt. Okay. And it's really, it's a sweetheart of a place. It's old. It's Victorian. It's got a beautiful church. St. Catherine's is there. A beautiful lake that entails the southern end of the town. It's just beautiful. In the downtown, I'll remember this vividly. When we first we were looking for something, and we went into the downtown, and it looked like Mayberry. That's how old this town is, and it was really, really. It's a beautiful place. It's got a great bed and breakfasts. You have Spring Lake. Then on the western part, you have Spring Lake Heights across the railroad tracks. But Spring Lake itself it was a giant hotel, the Essex and Sussex House. And this thing, there's a lot. I mean, you can go online, you can see the stories yourself, but you can also see the videos or in the photos. It's no longer a hotel. They made it into condominiums and a ballroom and everything else. But the place, from all accounts, is very, very haunted.
Well, right now I'm looking at the actual website itself, the Essex and Sussex events.com/about. So I'll just read what's on the website.
Okay.
So the Essex and Sussex, located in the heart of Spring Lake, has been a cornerstone of the Jersey Shore for over a century. Towering over the Atlantic Ocean, the illustrious glow of the cupola lights can be seen for miles down the beach. Essex and Sussex is an active adult condominium association now.
Right.
Nestled inside the Essex and Sussex is our spacious... I'm not reading that. But they do have a historical timeline. In 1882, the block between Essex and Sussex Avenue on the east side of First Avenue is known as Hastings Square. 10 freestanding double cottages are built, each with its own entrance and name. One of the cottages is called the Essex, and another is called the Sussex. So, this fucking thing was the base of this goddamn hotel was in 1882.
Right.
You're talking about 20 years after Lincoln. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's murders in there. There was a lot of stuff that went down in that place.
They're not going to put that on the fucking
No, not on the website. You're trying to draw people coming here. But, I can tell you from the research that I've done over the years about this place, and I've basically watched it get rehabbed from a dilapidated place that people just let go into this beautiful, they brought back the beauty of it again, and they had they brought back a lot of the original charm. But nestled in there is a lot of stories and a lot of video, a lot of audio out there. You can dig it up yourself, of ghosts calling out your name, pulling your covers off, slamming doors, turning lights on, running water, appearing at the foot of your bed, or basically unlocking your front door of the then room at that point. They had suites and stuff where the door would be wide open when people would walk in and out. It's crazy. You have these, and people would actually, there's videos of doors opening. There's videos of stuff opening on its own. I really wish somebody would have done or will do an in-depth ghost hunting there, because there's so much. It really is a beautiful place. I don't know if the current owners will allow that because, they don't want to scare anybody off.
I mean, it depends on, the exposure they get. Like someone like you and I, probably not.
Right.
But, let's say ghost hunters decide to be like, yeah, let's go over there and, hunt it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be perfect for them, because they would do. Zach Bagans would be great. He'd put shit all over the walls and then seal himself into the basement, and
But they only have one story here on Weird New Jersey.
Okay.
It's called the Phantom Ball at the Essex and Sussex. So this happened around 1982, 2 years after your Great Pussy Drought.
That's a double two-part show all on its own.
I was about 22 years old, so he's the same age as you are, working for a carpet installer as a helper. We were on a job at the Essex and Sussex House, a huge hotel across the street from the ocean in Spring Lake.
Yep.
It was in the middle of winter, and the hotel being closed, the only people in the building were myself, my boss, and the caretaker.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
Fuck that.
That building is way too huge.
That.
Yeah, that building is way too huge.
So
3 people in it.
The job involved repairing the seam of the carpet in the main ballroom, and it was a one-man job after the tools were brought in and set up. I asked my boss if I could prowl around, and he said, "Okay, just don't get into trouble."
Yeah.
I really wanted to get up to the cupola at the top of the 5-story building.
Time out. I'm going to record. That's a couple up at the.
Whatever. Fuck you.
Sounds like a Italian delivery guy.
At the top of the 5-story building.
Fucking pizza.
And we see the view from the ocean from there. On the 5th floor, I found the door to the cupola, and though nailed shut,
not the cup holder.
And though nailed shut, I pried it open and spent 5 or 10 minutes up there. It was nailed shut, bro.
He asked, you know what? You asked for it.
You know, it's just like, you know what it is? It's just like white people in horror movies. Don't run up the stairs, run out the fucking front door.
Mm-hmm.
You asked to be killed.
So it reminds me of that one commercial with the axe murderer. He comes out with the
the guy with the chainsaw?
Chainsaw, and he pulls up his thing and he just goes,
yeah.
That's hysterical.
So upon coming out of this little stairway, now it's a little stairway going up to the cupola, back on the 5th floor, I was standing in the middle of the hallway that ran the length of the building.
No.
So apparently there's a hallway that runs the length of the building.
Yeah.
Up on the 5th floor.
On every floor. That's what it does. It's a U-shaped building.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, so you don't know when you're looking down either way of those corridors and you're looking all the way down, you either know that you got something on the left side or on the right side.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Mm-hmm. I believe there's another building now that way. Kind of, it worked out didn't work out too well for the caretaker at the time. His name was Jack Torrance. But then again,
So, as I was brushing myself off, he goes, the cupola was a mess of bird droppings and debris. I noticed out of the corner of my eye someone at the end of the hallway to my right watching me. I turned and it seemed they ducked into a room. I went back to brushing and noticed them again, only closer this time. Again, I turned to them. I turned to see them slip out of sight. A dark blur in the shadows. Assuming it was some other person working up there, I called out. No answer. In fact, I heard no sounds during this event at all. I looked to my left down the other half of the corridor and saw nothing. Turning back to my right, again I saw the dark blur of someone moving out of sight, but it was closer yet, nearly at the stairwell to the lower floors. At that point, though, I was not consciously afraid at all. My adrenaline surged, and I had an overwhelming urge to get away from here immediately.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps retelling this event now, many years later.
Mm-hmm.
I ran down the stairs and was on the main floor in seconds. Encountering the caretaker on my way back to the ballroom, I must have appeared shaken as he asked if I was all right.
Right.
I told him I was upstairs, not indicating the exact floor, and got rattled. He asked if I was on the 5th floor, to which I replied yes. He recounted a similar incident that happened to him while cleaning the windows.
Time out. Then why didn't he tell this kid when he went upstairs that there could be something up there? Why would you let somebody, potentially have a fucking heart attack or something? What?
Well, not unless he didn't know the kid went upstairs.
Oh.
Remember, the kid asked his boss if he could go snooping.
Oh, that's true. Sorry. Back to the story.
He recounted a similar incident that happened to him while cleaning windows, and he said he has since avoided being up there alone. He also stated that several times late at night in the dead of winter, when the building is totally empty except for him, he hears parties in the ballroom. Music, people talking and laughing, glasses tinkling, silverware on dishes. It all stops when he reaches for the door handle.
Yeah, well, question number one, why would you be in that building alone?
Oh, it's your job.
No. I don't do jobs like that. Sorry. If I got to be in a building that I know there might be some activity going in there or something that I don't know. Because, first off, even if there was no ghosts, when you're in a building like that, it's going to play on you. There's no getting around it. You can't, there's no way you're going to move away from that. You can't. It's human nature to be what the fuck? What's going on? What's around the corner? And in a building that big and cavernous, no. And of course, I don't know how many years ago this happened. Do we know? Or
it says 1982.
Okay, so 1982, The Shining had come out in 1980. You had to see The Shining. That's got to be playing on your mind. It's kind of like, every time you go in the water, you're going to remember Jaws. You go in the ocean, Jaws is in the back of your mind somewhere. Well, this had to happen too. And to be honest with you, if anybody tells me to go in a building of that size, forget it. You're on your own. I'll find
when you go in the ocean, you think of Jaws. I don't.
Well, maybe you're extra special. I don't know.
I don't think of Jaws. That's just me. I do have one more story. It's a different story. And this one goes, Ghost Stories, the Essex and Sussex House, when it was posted on your birthday, 2016. Creepy, huh? Creepy, huh?
Yeah, it's creepy.
All right, so he goes, the northern part of the Jersey shore of the Jersey coast is quite the location. The beach is large and well kept, better since you have to pay to go on it in the summer. Spring Lake, New Jersey consists of many beautiful homes along the water, has some monster houses, but most are very classy. By far the biggest structure in the area is the Essex and Sussex Hotel.
Very true.
The Essex and Sussex the Essex and Sussex is located on the water and is almost the size of a city block.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a mix between an enormous beach house and a large government building.
Yeah. It's got these large columns in front of it. It's huge.
The town of Spring Lake has some very impressive houses along the water, but the Essex and Sussex seems larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
As a young kid, I remember passing by the building and imagining what it could be. I pictured it being home to a king or some type of royalty. Back when it was first built, it was a hotel that catered to the celebrities of that time period. Many parties and events featuring the powerful and wealthy took place.
Right.
It must have been quite a hot spot.
Oh yeah, you don't build something that grand that makes paupers come in it. Have the elite.
Yeah, over time, the Essex and Sussex lost its ability to function as a hotel, and parts of the building were turned into a nursing home.
Right.
I made a few deliveries to the kitchen when I worked as a truck driver. I can honestly say I never felt any weirdness being inside, but again, it was a very big place.
Right.
Parts of the building are uninhibited. There is a story of a contractor that was working on one of the floors. He decided to look around and explore some other rooms. He went to the 5th floor and down the hallway towards. He's probably talking about the same contractor we were talking about. The contractor looked at the ocean and appreciated the view. It was probably the best of the Atlantic Ocean in Monmouth County.
Mm-hmm.
The young man turned around and saw a woman at the other end of the long hallway. Apparently, at first, it seemed like someone was walking towards their hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
He looked out the window, and when he turned back, he saw the woman again standing closer to him, looking at him.
Right.
This time, she appeared once he saw her. Once again, the contractor looked out the window and then back again, and the woman appeared a couple doors closer and again promptly disappeared into the door. After being thoroughly creeped out, the man returned to where he was working and told the groundskeeper, yeah, it's the same story we were talking about. I thought it was a different one. My bad, folks. I spent all that time for nothing.
Wasted all this time, but we get to look at his pretty face. My God. All right, what do we got going on now? We've got the Spring Lake, and I know for a fact in Spring Lake there's a few other bed and breakfasts that are a little bit.
Well, do you know of any?
I'm trying to remember the one name of the one place. It's on Jersey Avenue. I can't. I mean, it's a typical thing, like people have seen a maid walking in and out of different rooms with the door closed.
Mm.
And they follow her down steps. She goes to the steps. Somebody goes by the steps. She's gone.
Well, I mean, I could tell of one experience that I had down the Jersey Shore, and it was just minor, but it was something weird. We were driving along Ocean Avenue in Seaside, and it was me and uncles.
Right. Park or Heights, the difference?
Park.
Okay.
And we got to the older section of Seaside, still along the ocean, and the temperature dropped like 10 degrees.
Okay.
And we saw it drop 10 degrees. Like, it got colder out, but as we left the older section, the temperature dropped, came back up to the regular, what it was. I mean, it's not paranormal, but it's just weird. Why would that section be 10 degrees?
Well, you're right along the ocean. The winds coming off that ocean they can vary. I mean, I literally have stood there and watched the clouds come in, and it was sunny.
I get that, but why would it register? You know what I mean?
You don't know.
Like, you could feel the wind, yeah, but the wind doesn't register with the temperature.
There's a lot there. I mean, you're out in the open. When you're out in the water, all bets are off. Weather changes like that. It'll change in a heartbeat. Like I said, I mean, I've seen thunderstorms with no clouds in the sky. Nowhere to lie.
Well, if that's the fucking case, I'm running. That's fucking weird.
That's why they tell you, if you hear a thunderstorm in the distance, if you see a thunderstorm coming over the bay and you're on Ocean Avenue, or you're on the bay and you see it coming over, or you see a storm way out to sea, go inside, because lightning can strike that amount of distance.
Yeah.
Lightning doesn't have to be on top of you to hit you. This could travel, miles. And that's one of the things they tell you not to do. Make sure if there's a storm, don't be hanging around. If you see a storm on the ocean it's way out there, don't buy into that bullshit, because it can affect you. So yeah, storms on temperature on Ocean Avenue, I wouldn't even worry about that. That's just the nature. That's the nature of the Jersey Shore or the shore itself. It's the nature of what happens, when you're dealing with the ocean.
All right.
So
no, that's all we got for today.
Okay.
As far as I really want to get to those 3 stories, and I think the Essex and Sussex one is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because that one is just very creepy. Like the Spy House, okay, Ghost Boy, older people, yeah, it's creepy because it's a museum, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general, the Jersey Shore during the dead of winter, it's a wonderful place, but it's also very fucking creepy.
It's very creepy. I mean, like I said a couple episodes ago, you can, in the wintertime down the shore, it gets dark early. Lights go out, whatever.
And there's no one there.
And there's nobody around. There's really especially in a town like Seaside Park or South Seaside Park, when the local people are all in their houses. They're not coming out. Because to them, that's where they live. They don't have to come out. To me, I don't live there, but when I'm there on a weekend in the middle of winter, I want to experience that. I want to experience the walking on the boardwalk at midnight. When your mother and I got married, we went down the shore. We stayed at the Aztec in the Heights. And this was in October. So we decided we're just going to take a we're going to take a walk outside the Aztec, which for whoever doesn't know where the Aztec is, it's on a casino pier in Seaside Heights, which is adjacent to the boardwalk. We took a walk on the boardwalk, and now there were no cell phones at that time, so I didn't take any video or phone or pictures. There literally were nobody. The lights from the one arcade was open. But now this is 6, 7 o'clock at night in October. Nobody on the beach. Nobody on the boardwalk. And I remember I said to your mother, got scared. And I'm like, well, you know what? We're right on the boardwalk. You can always go over to Ocean Avenue if you want. Not a big deal. So we went all the way down into the park. And at the time, the park was not what it is now.
Yeah.
The park was built up. It had all these games and stuff like that. And, of course, they're all in garage doors kept closed. So walking through there was the creepiest thing because you don't know who's around any corner. And that's the feeling you get when you walk through the streets because you don't know where people are. You don't know, well, is that house occupied for the winter? Is that house occupied for, you don't know. You don't know. So,
well, I mean, the one experience I had on the boardwalk of, it was Seaside Heights in Seaside Park. We went down in like March.
Okay.
I think it was March of 2 years ago. It was 2018. And me, Anthony, and Teresa went down we went down on a Thursday. Your mom came down that Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we were walking the boardwalk, but it was one of those weird, crazy fog nights.
Oh, God.
And we just started walking the boardwalk, and literally it was like, it's March. There's not a lot of people down there.
Yeah.
But you had maybe, I would say, at least 50 people walking the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was fucking creepy because you're walking, and now this was this type of fog off the ocean where you couldn't see like a foot in front of you.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
So when you're looking, you see a little shadow, becomes a bigger shadow, becomes a bigger shadow, then becomes a person. You're like, you don't know who the fuck that is.
I took your mom down on her birthday in June one time, and it was just about the beginning. Starting to get hot out. Well, on the island, I mean, I've literally seen it in Tom's River. Sun's out shining. You cross the bridge, and it's total fog. You can't see in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got videos of it upstairs somewhere, and what it is the fog was so thick. We were laying on a beach, and you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah, it's the same like when we went down a month ago.
Yeah.
We had that fog, and we crossed the fucking bridge that you took us over.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking asshole. That scared the shit out of me.
He's talking about I don't know the name of the bridge, but he's talking about there's a couple of bridges in Stone Harbor
that go right over the fucking ocean.
Right over the ocean, and the Stone Harbor, that whole area is just gorgeous. But we'll get to another show. I want to do a whole show, and we'll do a video and whatever. But now that we got the video up and running, we can do that. Yep. Like stuff like this. I mean, maybe we can cut in some pictures of. Of the stuff we're talking
videos,
about, drop it in. More work for you, obviously, but
what's new in this family?
Oh, really? Okay,
but
I get it.
Yeah, but that's it for today. I think we got through another good episode of Is This Real?
Right. Thanks for being along for our first video podcast.
Yeah,
you guys might get scared off the way we look,
the way he looks.
But anyway. Thanks again for watching, and I hope we could play with your minds just a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
So, what exactly are we going to do for next week's episode?
Next week's episode, we're going to do, you know what? I'm not sure because I got two ways we can go. We are either going to do the JFK special, or we're going to do the 9/11. So,
let's good. Let's go. We'll do a 2-part episode for JFK.
All right, it's going to need it.
Yeah,
so you're going to have to give me 2 parts for 9/11.
Yeah, we'll have 2 parts of JFK, 2 parts for 9/11, and then of course 2 parts for Sandy Hook.
That's going to be that's an up and running thing.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about Sandy Hook, and I just want to give a little preview. When we talk about it, you got to really be careful because you got to cross all your you got to cross all your T's.
At the same time, I think also, and that goes with everything that, as now you're going to be seeing and listening to as we talk, you have to have an open mind.
You have to have an open mind, but you also got to give, and when it comes to something like ghost stories are great. You can say it, people see it, you don't know, it could happen, may not happen.
Yeah.
This, whether you believe it happened or not, is an event that just change people's lives. And
you said that about JFK 9/11 too.
Right, but this is dealing with children. And when you're dealing with children, if you're going to say, this didn't happen or whatever, and I don't think that's what our stories are going to be about. We're going to be just presenting the facts as we dig them up. And, the part of that bothers me is the demonization of people that actually do that. If you bring up something, that doesn't mean I don't believe it. It doesn't mean I can say, well, it never happened. But I am going to present these facts. And if somebody has the answers for these facts, all the better. But I want to make sure that the facts that we bring up are facts and not just some nitwit sitting in his basement going, that never happened. Or this happened and that didn't happen. I want facts. And I will back them up with documentation and everything else. And when stuff I can't prove, you're not going to hear it out of my mouth.
Right.
But having said that, I'm not afraid to bring up facts that may or may not be relevant. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. So next week, as you heard it, our first episode about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. All right, people. I'll catch you guys later. Just always ask that question, is it real?
Thank you.
All right.